So on Friday, we were kind of right in the middle of talking about the 75% copy. Okay. So when we're talking about area, right? If the side length, right, is 3/4 the size of the other one, right? But remember, area is length times the width. So that would mean two sides, right? So again, we had to multiply 3/4 times 3/4 because it's half the size or 3/4 the size, right? And when we did that, you found out it was 9/16. So your new area is 9/16 times the size of the original area. Because again, it's length times width. So you got two sides that each one is 3/4 the size. So again, when you're finding area, that's length times the width. So if the 150% copy, what do you think the area would be there? How would that compare? Remember, what's 150% as a decimal? Blake? 1.5. So we have to take 1.5 and multiply it by 1.5. So here, the new area, that's supposed to be an 8 there, is, now when you multiply 1.5 times 1.5, do you know? Do you know what the answer is? Yeah. Yeah, 2.25. So you could say 2 1/4, or the decimal, 2.25, times the size of the original area. Because again, you got one side that's 1.5 times bigger than the original, and another side that's 1.5 times bigger than the original. So to find the area inside, you have to multiply those two things. So how do the relationships in the size comparisons you made in Part A relate to the copier size factors used? So remember how you had the 75%, you had the 150%, you had the original one in the middle? What do you notice about those figures? Are they similar? Are they the same size? Okay, so they were similar, but not the same size, right? So the shapes are similar, but not the same size. So if we try to wrap this up, it says if two figures are similar, what is the same about the figures and what is different? Well, what do we know is the same about the figures? Well, yeah, okay, was that a similarity or is that similar or different? They're different sizes, right? So that could be a difference. So it's kind of the two in one. So the shape is the same, right? But the size is different. What did we talk about the other day that we talked about some things were the same? The angles, the corresponding angles are equal, right? Remember we used that word, corresponding angles? That means angles that are the same on one figure, the same on the other. Very good, Gracie. All right, what is different, obviously, besides like the overall size? If the overall picture is different, what do we know about those other things that are different? Blake? The side lengths are different. There's actually some more. Perimeter, right? Obviously, the distance around the figure is different because it's bigger. And what else? We just talked about it up above. Area. I'm just going to say here. Area are different. Because if I erase that, I'm going to erase the whole thing. So the three things that are different are perimeter, the distance around the object, area, the space inside the object, and of course the side lengths, because they're bigger or smaller than the original, right? Depending on which shape we're talking about. All right, so if we go to summarize this. So when we talk about what does it mean to be copied at 50, 75, 100, 100. Well, again, anything smaller than 100% decreases the size, right? Because it's smaller than the original, the whole, right? Anything above 100% enlarges the original image, right? It's bigger than, because it's 100% and then some. Okay? So those 5 things, make sure you get to know those. Those would be good things to kind of look over for the quiz. All right? We mentioned this. Similar figures have corresponding angles that are the same. All the angle measurements are the same. The side lengths are different. The perimeter is different. The area is different, but the angles are the same. Okay? And the side lengths are different and can be found by multiplying the original length by the scale factor. 0.75, 1.5, depending on whatever it is, right? All right. So your homework, which you'll have some class time to work on, is that. Okay? And I'll come around and hand you out the worksheet here in just a second.